all truckers and transport fans from Europe Truck Driver. Every journey starts somewhere, and for many of us, the starting line is the Pardubice Region. The city of Pardubice. Today I'm taking you on a drive through the trucker's map of Pardubice. Why is this region so important to us? Why does so much international transport head here? And what is life like for a driver who spends more time on the road than at home? Together we'll explore the key industrial zones, and I'll show you where we, the East Bohemian truckers, find the best parking and services. Get comfortable. This will be a ride dedicated to Czech gingerbread and tons of cargo. The logistical role of Pardubice in history. Pardubice is not just a historic center. It is mainly a concentration of industrial zones and a crucial railway junction. When you look at the map, you see a crossroads traversed by thousands of trucks every day. To give you an idea, Pardubice, with approximately 92,000 inhabitants, is the 9th largest city in the Czech Republic and the heart of the entire Pardubice region. The first mention of the city dates back to 1295. A major turning point occurred in the mid-19th century with the massive connection to the railway. This historical shift enabled the establishment of key industrial enterprises like Fanta's mineral oil refinery, today's Paramo, and a factory for mill machinery. After World War II, massive construction of new districts doubled the city's size, confirming its regional dominance. The key sectors for logistics here are clear: chemical, engineering, and electrical engineering. And remember, the historic center has been an urban conservation area since 1964, so don't take your semi-truck into the city center. Rail and air dominance. Pardubice became a highly important railway junction. Today, this hub generates an enormous amount of container transport and necessitates the transshipment of cargo to roads. The logistical diversity is underlined by the international airport, which provides significant air freight transport. The city is also a center for transport education, being home to the Jan Perner Transport Faculty of the University of Pardubice. Industry, ADR, and special logistics. The chemical industry and ADR are the cradle of Semtex. It cannot be overlooked that Pardubice is the center of the chemical industry, primarily thanks to Synthesia and Paramo. The industry's history here dates back to 1909, when the Czechoslovak Joint Stock Explosives Factory was founded. Today, Synthesia produces cellulose, pigments, and dyes, and together with Explosia, they form the foundation of the chemical industry. Synthesia AS is a giant with over 2,300 employees and billions in revenue. And it was right here in the Semten area that the famous plastic explosive Semtex was developed in the late 1950s. For us truckers, it is crucial that the refinery industry at Paramo and the chemical operations require special logistics. If you are carrying ADR dangerous goods, be cautious. Special routes for transit apply here, and you must know them. Electrical engineering, logistics, and mechanical engineering, global players. Another massive load on logistics comes from the electrical engineering industry and mechanical engineering. Foxconn Pardubice, a global Taiwanese firm, has a huge computer assembly plant here since 2000, employing thousands. In the former premises of Tesla Pardubice, where the famous Ramona and Tamara passive radars originated, ERAAS is now based, supplying modern radio location systems for air traffic control at airports worldwide. We also must not forget Panasonic, which has been producing car audio systems here since 2001. Stare Civis Industrial Zone. This is the Stare Civis Industrial Zone, the hub for many logistics operations. Customers here often have very strict loading and unloading times. Always check your approach from the D35 motorway to avoid navigation errors that lead you into the city's narrow streets. You must be precise. Time is money. Transport infrastructure and tolls. Road routes, tolls, and problems. Pardubice, as an industrial city, generates a huge amount of road traffic. The I-37 road from Trudim crosses us, which is upgraded to a 4-lane expressway towards Hradec Králové. To the south at Opatovice, the future D35 section connects us to the D11 motorway towards Prague. The I-36 road is also key for transit, passing through the broader center and continuing towards Litomyšl. Precisely because of the poorly designed right-angle system of transport from the communist era and the routing of transit traffic too close to the center, Pardubice faces immense throughput problems. The busiest transport hub near Paramo, through which over 25,000 cars pass daily, is therefore undergoing extensive reconstruction up to the U-Trojas junction to connect smoothly to the Hradec Expressway. The good news for us is that the city is implementing a smart traffic sign and information board system that will manage traffic flow according to demand. The bad news is that we will have to wait until at least 2025 for the much-needed bypasses from the southeast and northeast. Attention to tolls. Don't forget that all D11 and D35 motorway sections, as well as selected sections of Class 1 roads, including the I-37 and I-36 around Pardubice, are subject to electronic tolling for vehicles over 3.5 tons. Keep your onboard unit charged and functional to avoid fines. Water transport and future infrastructure. Interestingly, water transport is also developing here. The newly renovated excursion boat Arnost, sailing to Kunetes and Crnogety, is already operating on the Labe Elbe, serving partly as unconventional public transport. However, critical for our industry is the Ministry of Transport's plan to make the Labe navigable and build a port for freight water transport. The goal is to relieve road transport and create an important supplement to rail logistics. Municipal Public Transport, MHD. The city also focuses on its own public transport. Bus MHD was established in 1950, and the first trolleybuses ran in 1952. After a rapid development, there was stagnation in the 70s, but development resumed in the 80s, e.g. Polabany District. The Pardubice Public Transport Company today has an exclusively low-floor vehicle fleet and relies on ecology. New buses run on compressed natural gas, CNG. Practical tips and culture. Parking and services. Where to park when it's time for a break. It can sometimes be a struggle in Pardubice. Tip from a local. Try smaller areas around the logistics center in Dacis or at petrol stations off the main routes. But always ensure your cargo is secured. Trip tips and cultural monuments. The dominant feature of the center is the Green Gate, the symbol of the city. More interesting for us is the Pardubice Castle, Zamek Pardubice. The original 13th century castle was rebuilt by the Pernstein family at the turn of the 15th and 16th centuries into a monumental Renaissance chateau with mighty ramparts. It is one of the most significant examples of early Renaissance in Bohemia. Today it houses the Museum of East Bohemia and the East Bohemian Gallery. A walk along the ramparts is great for stretching your legs and offers a view of the Lebe. A little further on, notice the historically valuable Winčinec Mills by the Trudimka River. Pardubice is also home to the East Bohemian Theater and the Chamber Philharmonic. Pardubice gingerbread, tradition and souvenir. This is a must-try. Pardubice has been famous for gingerbread, pernik, since the 16th century. The traditional designation Pardubice pernik is even a protected designation of origin, PDO, of the EU, making it one of the most valuable regional products. It's a great souvenir for the family and a symbol of the region. The city also hosts the coffee substitute manufacturer Kavovny and the bakery Od Kolek. Famous events, and don't forget the Velika Pardubice. This is the toughest and most dangerous steeplechase in continental Europe, traditionally held on the second Sunday in October. We also have the Golden Helmet motorcycle race and the Czech Open International Chess Festival. Tens of thousands of spectators flock here during these times. For us truckers, this means traffic chaos. Expect increased traffic density, restrictions, and road closures around the racecourse and on approach routes. Where to get a good lunch? You can't survive without good food. Do you have a tip for a great meal? Let me know in the comments. So that was Pardubice from the perspective of Europe truck driver. I hope this little drive through East Bohemia brought you some useful tips. Let me know in the comments. What is your experience with loading or unloading in Pardubice? And if you enjoy life on the road and want to see more of Central Europe and beyond, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode. Thanks for riding with us. Stay safe on the road and keep the wheels turning. See you next time. Cheers.